Hello and welcome to round number 10 of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large 2021 in Live for Speed with the FZ50 GTR at South City Town Course, a cracking combo for tonight's race. I'm Peter Butcher and I'm joined tonight in the commentary box by someone a bit different. He's joined us a few times in the past, but it is Zdravko Topolnjak, FM's Number, who joins me for tonight's race. Hi Number.
Good evening everybody.
Right, let's get on with this. We have a lot of cars out there around South City in the FZR doing laps, 27 of them. So let's bring you up to speed with what you're about to watch tonight. We are at round 10 of the championship, and as you can see, we've had a lot of races. There's one every month. Tonight we are on the 58th edition of RTFR XL in Live for Speed. Only two left for the season. Let's see what the track has in store for everybody tonight around the 3.1 kilometre, 1.9 mile South City Town Course configuration. We have 60 minutes of qualifying, of which there are 6 minutes left, and then a 64-lap race, which is a lot of laps around South City, with a mandatory 10-second pit stop. So, Zdravko, you've driven this track a lot. What do you make of it in the GTRs?
A lot of fun. That's the first thing that comes to mind. It really exposes the nature of FZR. It feels a bit floaty on some of the corner entries, but if you get too reckless with the throttle, it shows its true nature and just fishtails out of the turns. I think drivers will have a blast, especially because it's a track of two natures. Part of the track is really fast, flat out with a fast turn, final turn in the track, and first sector is a series of slow turns, 90 degrees turns.
Yeah, thanks for that. Let's get straight on with the action today as we head to the track. And yeah, let's see who is out there setting the good times. We do appear to have a large number of cars out there. It is currently Sami Lipmanen driving for Sidus, who leads the way with his car as he actually aborts that run. A 111.18 at the moment for him. Unite P2, Zdravko. He's 2/10 behind his teammate.
Yeah, it looks to me like Unite maybe runs a bit more downforce than Semi, because they have same sector 3, and in sector 1 and 2 he loses a bit. And I'm sorry I got it the wrong way around. It looks like Semi runs a bit more downforce than Unite. My bad. But it's quite even. It's only 2/10 difference, and that's not really a lot. You never know how much each of the drivers worked on a race setup and how much they worked on a quali setup.
Yeah, 200ths of a second now separating them as Unite improved on that lap, and that brings the gap down. Gabor, who's running an interesting skin there, I do like that, in P4. He's got some work to do if he wants to get up there with his teammates. Asker, best of the rest in P5, then it's Fatal, Unfair in P6, Redbot P7, Kig, Soini and Yarikatilla currently P10. I wonder where Yoni is. I wonder if he's going to be here this week. Always likes to set his laps pretty late at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment he's not on the server, so I'm not sure. It could be that he will skip this round.
Possibly. Sami's coming around the final corner. This will be to start another flying lap. He's not happy with his lap, or he wants to improve it at the very least. Here he comes across start finish down underneath the infamous turn 1 flyover. Bit of an easy one that in the FZR when you're running alone. When you're side by side, it's a different story. Down into turn 2, hard braking into a left-hander, 90 degrees-ish. And then we head into what we call the bus stop section as he taps the wall there, and that will be an abort, no doubt. And who do we watch now? This is Asker for World Class Lines. 6800ths off the lead, and that looks to be a warm-up lap. Unite's coming into the final turn. Zdravko, talk us through this one.
Yeah, Unite is just warming up for his fast attempt. A low revs in 4th gear for last turn, as he goes a bit wider to keep the speed up. He did a good job in warming up his tires. The rears are in perfect temperatures and fronts are a bit lower than perfect. Probably he thinks he will make them hotter. Nails the apex with a bit of rear slide and correction. Just clips the wall on the exit.
That's a shame. Sami's gone out for another lap, but Sami will manage to get a lap in. I don't know whether Nico will.
Yeah, Nico will. That's why he was so fast on Spectre, I think.
Yeah, I think he's out again.
Because there are 2 minutes in a session, so he has to be fast about an out lap to catch it.
Yeah, he's going for another one. He's got some traffic to contend with. He can't spend too long getting through traffic. He does have a few seconds in hand, though, probably about half a minute to 40 seconds. Let's take a look at Sami. Hopefully this goes better.
You see the drivers are pushing to the limit because they're making the mistakes. Oh, that's a lovely first turn. As he makes the car work for him, rotate the car into the turn. Doesn't clip the wall here, so goes full throttle onwards.
Oh, he did hit the wall there.
That's a wall clip. Yep.
Yeah.
A tiny touch on the entry made him go a bit wider, but he didn't lose so much speed there because there's not a long straight. So he's pushing through. That's gotta be a big push on a hairpin now. Let's see this. Wow, that's perfect. Great job by Sami. So all that's left is a long straight, a fast turn, a very fast turn, and then another straight. He goes on a wide entry, doesn't want to touch the curb on the inside, and hits the wall a bit. That will cost him some time.
It looked so fast, but it wasn't faster than his best. Still, Unite is behind. But yeah, I mean that's the level they're pushing to. That looked pretty great from where I was sat. A few errors, but let's see how United's getting on, Zdravko.
Yeah, he just exited into the back straight, going to the hairpin. His rears are already quite hot. He hits the apex nicely, going to first gear, accelerates. I'm a bit worried about the state of his rear tires into this last turn, but if he manages not to slide the rear, he will be okay. And he slides it.
Yep. Lots of smoke.
Looks nice.
Looks great.
Nice. Yeah.
But that is it for him. And Sammy's in the pits, so he's done. Who else is out there setting a lap? Zdravko, anybody we can look at in the final few minutes of this, or final few seconds of this session, actually, as everybody comes around?
Attila with the slower lap.
Yeah.
I think Redbot is the last one.
Yep, Redbot is the last car, I think, that will set a lap. So let's get a look at him as he comes up the hill.
He has a bad speed. He's going in. Yeah.
He's going in the pits. All right, so I think that wraps everybody. I think that's everybody, as far as I'm aware. So let's get a full rundown of the order for the start of round number 10 over Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large in for Speed. Starting on pole position is Sami Lipmanen, who set an unbelievably quick lap time, a 1 minute 11.18, 200ths of a second faster than his teammate Unite. Then it's Gabor Ricardel rounding out a Sidus double front, well, the first row and second row lockout there. Zdravko, pretty impressive. Asker, best of the rest in P5. Then it's Fatal Unfair in P6. Redbot, Kig, Soini, and Yari Katila round out the top 10. Then we've got Rony himself, a good qualifying session in P11. He loves the FZR, does Rony. Then we've got Lorenzo, Igor, Pedro BR, Climbs, Gui, Kozi, Donny, Michael, and Suzuya rounding out the top 20. Zdravko, hit me with the second page of results.
Yeah, we got on 21st Beirut, then Heki Rocco, MRC Matteo, KR Young. In 25th, there's Mene Boega. In 26th, we got Perzimkov. And in 27th and last, we got LG Miss. Quite a spread of times.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a quick break here, actually, because we have about 8 minutes left before the start of the race. And as you mentioned, they are super, super close. It's going to be a frantic battle at the front, especially down to turn 1. It's going to be exciting. Some laps of South City Town Course coming right up after the break. See you shortly. Hello and welcome back to coverage of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large 2021 Round 10 from South City Town Course in Live for Speed. You're watching Sim broadcasts on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Peter Butcher, and joining me today is Zdravko Topolnjak. Zdravko, we just watched a thrilling qualifying session which puts the Sidus guys on row 1 and 2 completely. They've locked out the front 2 rows with Asker for World Class Lions lining up in 5th place. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. I'm sure that Sidus guys have no love lost between them, especially looking at Unite and Ricardo and their battle for a championship. And there's no championship in Excel, so it's every man for himself.
Yes, no drivers, only the Drivers' Championship to worry about, as you mentioned. So that is where all of the prize money goes. In fact, the €100 of prize money sponsored by World Class Lions goes to the Drivers' Championship. We are just waiting for Unite to join the grid. There he goes, and we will be away for the start once all the drivers ready up. If you're interested in getting involved in some championships in Live for Speed, then Rony's Tuesday Fun Race on a Tuesday evening is certainly one to try out. There's 3 races a month, 2 in the regular format every fortnight, and then the XL, which you're watching right now, which happens once a month. This is the 58th ever Rony's Tuesday Fun Race, round 10. So there's only 2 rounds left after this for the rest of the year. Zdravko?
Yeah, we'll see how those goes. For now, I'm happy to see that a certain driver named True Alpha joined the grid. He will probably start last because he didn't qualify, but should be a fun race from last for him.
Yeah, we saw what he managed to do last time he qualified way down the grid. He managed to get up right into the top positions. Yoni always puts on a show for us, so expect nothing less from him today as the drivers begin to ready up, and we will go for the start right about now. Zdravko, please take it away for the start of this one.
Oh, first rows are all purple. So the first turn that is often ignored here when doing qualifying laps will be quite a test already for this field, because it's not an easy one to do too wide. And off they go. Unite has a brilliant start. It's already ahead of Liti as Unite leads into first turn. Ricardo passes Gabor, but Gabor has the inside. Gabor will try to recover this. He does. So Unite leads away.
Yeah, there was some squabbling going on in the back. We've lost a few drivers from the start of this race. We've got 23 currently on the grid, and that's a great start from Unite. He leads Sami Lipmanen by nothing, as all 4 of the Sidus cars still leading the race. But yeah, a change for the lead. Rick Cardle, the championship, well, the 2 championship top runners, currently separated by their 2 teammates. It's a flashback to the regular RTFR. Asker's had a good start. He stayed P5, which is just what you want on the opening lap, as they all thunder down into the hairpin for the first time this race. And look at Sami, he's got a great exit.
Yeah. I'm just a bit on the Yone watch. He's gained 7 positions in this first lap, up to P16.
And he looks like he's going for another one. Back a shot here around the outside of Climbs using that Martini-inspired livery. Oh, he's getting a little bit of a cutback from Donny. Donny is a guy who will not appreciate being overtaken so quickly by Yoni. He'll like to keep with him, I think, and try and follow him through the field. What do you think, Zdravko?
Well, I think Yoni has a bit of draft. Oh, he has a slow car. We got Father Katila that pitted and rejoined. He probably had a bit of a hit with someone.
Yeah, well, that's a shame. Yari's had to completely rejoin the race, so he will be a lap down already. That's a shame. The Sidus guys really are running away. Fatal for Fragmasters. Your own teammate has managed to make it up past Asker, and he's going to chase down Rick Cardle now. And he's got to do that. He's got to catch him and overtake him if he wants any whiff of the podium.
Well, I can only relay you his wish of not showing him today on screen.
Yeah, I got that memo after the last round. He didn't enjoy that at all, did he? So we'll talk about him as much as we feel like we need to.
Yeah, as on a Yoni watch, he clipped climbs a bit and spun him into a spin, losing 3 positions. He lost positions to Donny, Kig, and Pedro. So
yeah.
he's on a back foot again.
Yeah, so's Climbs. Climbs down to P20, P21 as it stands.
Yeah,
We've got
basically
Lorenzo.
last.
Lorenzo, he's attacking Igor, the Brazilian car ahead of him.
I
mean,
saw
like-
Lorenzo before the race mentioning that he did a full race sim, so he should be handy in the race.
All right, well, he'll know exactly what his strategy needs to be. Obviously, you can't account for the other traffic that you've got. You might use slightly less tyres, slightly less fuel. But having race simulations, especially in longer format races, is definitely to your advantage. You always want to, if you can, do a race simulation, because then you can be more relaxed. And there's fewer unknowns going into the race.
Yeah, well, interesting thing about Lorenzo is I'm just looking at his car, and he's driving a bit different specification to everybody else. He's running a bit thinner tires than the rest of the field. He's not driving the standard ZR width of the tire. He has a bit thinner tires. So maybe that gives him an advantage in agility and a bit of more speed on the straights, but should be a bit harder to maintain temperature-wise.
Yeah, I think that's the first time actually that I've noticed a driver doing that since it was added as an option within the game. Perhaps some of that has gone unsighted, but well spotted, Zdravko. I do not recall a time when we've covered that on the stream. A driver using different width tyres in a race compared to the rest of the field. So thanks for that.
Yeah, I just barely noticed it. It looks like his racing probably gave him some info about the tires, so he decided to use it.
Fair enough. It's getting close between Sammy and Gabor. Unite has checked out. This is a good performance so far from Unite. Kind of, he was close to Litty on pace in qualifying, but so far seems to be really, really quick. As we've got a battle elsewhere, Zdravko, talk us through it.
Yeah, Yoni is attacking Pedro. He's trying to get the places back that he lost. Oh, that's a sand.
Oh!
Yeah, it's a tricky turn. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. It's a tricky turn because if you brake a bit too late and you go a bit too tight, you're bound to go wider on the exit and won't have enough speed. Oh, as they have Donny and Kick touch right in front of them.
Oh yeah, huge accident that we just missed. That's a shame. And that pushes Donny right to the back.
Yeah, and Yoni goes through. So he's back to 14.
Yeah, I don't expect Donny to hang around. Donny's not going to be happy with that. He's down in P19 now. He's going to have to carve his way back through the field. He's got a lot of front-end damage on that, and some on the rear left, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So it's a long afternoon for him.
Well, his suspension is okay, so that's a good thing. But the one thing to notice is, I just realized Donny is running softer tires than the rest of the field. He's the only one running R2s, and spins don't help when you run R2s.
No, they don't, certainly. So yeah, he's going to have to take that car down the pit lane at some point anyway. So maybe he'll decide to change them. Who knows? Especially if he starts to spin.
That's a bold move to run R2s on the rear of FZR, unrestricted.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder what he was trying. Maybe he was trying to go for early speed, carve through the field a bit, but it just hasn't worked. Hasn't worked from this time.
Well, I'm not sure how good he was at like managing the R2s on the rear, but obviously the spin never helps. So now his rears are fully red. I think it would be best for him to just pit now, throw those tires away, and try to make something of a race.
Yep, get your pit stop done now because you're miles off the pace. Oh, goodness me. As Young there having some lag, and he's back, but he's up the hill. So that was a bit of a scary moment for the cars behind, and for me.
Yeah, and Donny has big ones climbs is all over his car now. Yeah, Donny has to lift things that are full throttle.
Yeah, he needs to go down the pits, so expect that to happen this lap, and he should change onto some tyres that have a little bit of a harder compound. Let's see if he does it, or whether
The
he's...
fronts seem to be okay.
There he goes.
His fronts seem to be okay. Maybe just change the rears and try to run that. FZR has an ability to adjust balance of the car using the anti-roll bars in game. So maybe he can do something with that, but he changes all 4 tires. Doesn't do a repair.
So that's one pit stop on the board for Donny. First one to blink, as far as we are aware. And it's Santi Sara still lapping in P5, just ahead of Asker. They started together. They're still together, but their order has changed. Bit of a gap back to Igor, who's doing a great job, P7, considering how, well, he hasn't had the game very long, Zdravko. This is a good performance from a newcomer.
Yeah, Igor has been improving at a fast rate.
Yeah, considering he's racing against drivers who've been involved in LFS for a lot longer than he has, this is a good effort. Speaking of, notable driver missing from today's race is Mandula, who we usually see at the sharp end. So wherever he is, I hope he's all right, and I hope to see him back next time.
I believe Mandula has been having some internet issues,
Huh.
so he wasn't able to race lately.
That is unfortunate. Anyway, back to the drivers who do have okay internet. Speaking of that, Lorenzo goes a little bit wide. Well, I say a little bit wide, quite wide, and into the wall at turn 3. And he's driving slowly. What's going on? Those thin tyres, are they having issues?
His front left is red, and I'm a bit puzzled by that.
Yeah,
I'm a bit puzzled by that. I think he has the setup a bit wrong in terms of camber, and maybe that not wide enough tire is a problem on braking for the hairpin as it is. He's locking it up.
possibly. Look who we have in the background. We have a very yellow Rony being chased by a very yellow Yoni. So I was looking out for a green car and I couldn't see it. This is Ronnie's choice of livery today. What is that?
You know what? It's Johnny Bravo.
Oh, Johnny
and on
Bravo,
the rear of the car
Bravo.
it says this won't end well.
Oh, yeah, let's have a look at that from Yoni's perspective as he comes up to the back of... Oh, there we go. That's what the slipstream does. Ronnie feels like he has to go defensive and straight around the outside. Oh my.
I think Ronnie blinked faster for this one. Yanni wasn't really in position to attack. But if you see a door roll, why not?
Oh my goodness. You see everything in RTFR. Coming to the end of lap 9, we have Unite leading Sammy, but Sammy is under pressure from his teammate now. He is under pressure, definitely. I don't think that's just hot air. Let's see what Gabor's exit's like and whether he starts to mount a charge on Sammy. He lifted a bit. He was in the dirty air, so fair play, using all of the mechanical grip he had available. And it won't be an opportunity to pass this time. Rick Cardle, he is some way off the pace compared to the other three. So, Zdravko?
Oh, I just wonder what are the respective fuel tanks on those 4 cars, because it looks to me like Gabor and Cardo are much better on the tires. So that could mean, like, to me that means one thing, and it means Litmanen is fueled to the end.
Okay, well, he still has to make a 10-second stop, so it doesn't make sense really to have fueled to the end.
Well, except if you just change the tires.
Well, I thought, yeah, before we went on air, you mentioned that it was 105% fuel to the end.
Yeah, so that's only maybe he just plans to do 5% refuel and change the tires like 15 laps before end, so they don't blow.
Okay, well, interesting. There's going to be lots and lots of different choices of strategy, I assume. Some people will pit halfway, which is kind of a safe strategy if you're just here for a bit of fun. But if you're hardcore, like the Sidus guys, you'll have worked out your strategy well ahead of time, as we see Rony going wheel-to-wheel with Kozzy? No, Kig.
Let's kick. Let's kick.
Everyone's using different liveries this week. It's very confusing.
Kick has a nice one.
Yeah.
As he goes into the slipstream of Rony.
This is a very
pass him.
cartoon-themed battle, this.
Yeah.
Simpsons versus Johnny Bravo. Kick versus
Rony can have a laugh now as he watches at Kick's rear of the car.
What does that say?
It doesn't say anything, it's just a Homer Simpson holding a donut. And donut is a rear light of an FZ.
I like it.
Yeah.
He's hitting the wall a lot. Maybe he's been on the Duff beer as well.
Many of drivers have problem with locking up of their fronts. Kick, Lorenzo we saw before. And as I say that, I just noticed something. Lorenzo bit.
Yeah, he's been in. What's he done? Can you tell?
Yeah, I can tell you. He changed tires to R4s. That doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Quickly, let's find something else to talk about.
Yeah.
R4s, that's not a fantastic recovery decision.
I think until the end of the race we will see Lorenzo go pitting again and changing that to R3s. I would say R4 is probably a mistake strategy-wise.
Yeah, 100%.
But you never know what he did with pressures. That's the thing we can't see. So if he changed his pressures to a much lower value, then maybe R4s could work.
Maybe we will see. He's done a race simulation, so he knows more than we do about whatever he's planning. We'll see later. But currently P17 he rejoins in as we watch on board from Sidus Gabor chasing down his teammate Sammy Lippman, and he was really close to him at the middle of the lap. But they've strung out again towards the end. So Sammy, I would have to say, is definitely costing Gabor time here. Gabor's catching up, being in the dirty air and then losing time everywhere. And he really wants to get past, or he wants to stay back, conserve his tyres and attack Sammy when his go off.
Well, I'm not sure he can allow himself to stay back, because the fastest car on the last lap in the race was Ricardo. So the fourth car in the row is the fastest at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. He's gaining on them. So
yeah, and Gabor has only 1 second ahead of Cardo, so not sure if he can allow himself to play it easy.
Yeah, he needs to speak to Sammy. Sammy needs to realise that he needs to play the long game, perhaps. But, you know, it's very, very difficult to overtake around South City, especially in the FZR. Anything with huge downforce. So, you know, Sammy might just be doing his own race. Who knows what the agreement between the Sidus drivers is? There is no teams championship in XL, as you mentioned before. Every man for himself.
Yeah, I'm not sure Sammy is the guy that just lets somebody pass.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a good guy, but not on the track.
There we go, as they all pass through onto that 14. Unite leads by 1.6 seconds ahead of Sammy Lippmanen, Gabor, Ricardo, Fatal, Oscar, Igor, Yoni, Michael and Kozzy, the top 10. Yoni's up to P8. That's a good recovery. He's been up and down a lot, and he's already in the top 10. That's mental.
And Unites pushes out fastest lap of a race. Yeah, so that was just to show that he has something in his tank left.
Yeah, but you've got to think that he's going to go pretty short, right? Unless that pace is leaps and bounds ahead of wherever everyone else is. Judging by their qualifying pace, you'd expect Sammy to be slightly faster, perhaps. So you'd have to guess that Sammy's got more fuel.
I'm a bit worried about Sammy's rear tires. They are red. So if he has any problems in the last turn, Gabor will be all over him.
Well, great. We are set up and ready to watch that happen. So let's see as we...
Yeah, no problems this time around. Sammy is probably the smoothest LFS driver that I know. So if anyone can do good laps on these tires, that's probably him.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on this gap now between Ricardo and Gabor. Unite is definitely pulling out ahead over everybody. In fact, yeah, he is opening that gap. especially over Rick Cardle. The gap up to 4.4 to the lead now for him. But Rick is slowly catching up to the back of Sammy and Gabor.
Yeah, I'd say Gabor is hurting in the dirty air a lot. His fronts just don't bite as they should.
Other cars close on track. We've got Kig in a battle with Kozzy, Michael and Ronnie. Ronnie's at the back. And Kig is trying to close up to and pass Kozzy into the bus stop section. Kozzy, meanwhile, is looking all over the rear of Michael Malik. There he is. And if you aren't sure who you're following, Michael has nicely put his name in 2 places on the rear of that car, Zdravko.
I was just watching at Unite a bit, and he hit the wall exiting onto the back straight. He lost himself more than half a second to Sammy and picked up some damage.
All right, so the mistake's starting to creep in.
That damage could in the end be a blessing in disguise, I think, because with the lower camber that he now has, he will have less grip but also a bit less used up tires, so maybe he can make it with only a refuel. What's for sure is that Gabor lost touch with Litin.
Here's the fight. Kig is caught up to, has been held up actually by Kozzy, and that's let Ronnie close up as well. So Ronnie now is knocking on the door of the top 10. He's got Kig and Michael to get past, and he's looking fast. He's closed that gap right down, but they've arrived in the twisty section, so there is really no way through. It's just single file. You kind of rely on the pace of the cars ahead of you until you find a gap through. Good exit from the top of the hill from Kig. That means Ronnie's not going to have a run into the hairpin. Damage doesn't seem to have affected Unite as he goes ahead and sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:12.41.
He goes wide, but Ronnie does the same.
Yeah, Ronnie now falling back into the hands of Pedro.
This can get tasty. It will be a 5-car battle.
Yoni Katilla's on pace. He's just set the fastest lap of the race, taking it away from Unite. He did have quite a lot of free air, though, on that lap, so that'll be why. He's now within a second of Igor, so that's how quickly that gap's come down. But will he be able to find a way past quickly? Let's wait and see.
He's much faster, it's just noticeable. Depends how he gets out of the hairpin, and if he doesn't manage to overtake before the last turn, or maybe he will do it here.
Yeah, Igor in fact lifts and lets him through almost. So Igor just running his own race. Only up to 7th.
Well, in the end, Igor probably thought that for him and his battle with Arska and Michael, it would be better not to lose time with Yoni.
Yep, it's smart driving. Picking your battles is very important in racing, especially in the long ones. You don't want to hold yourself up in a longer race. Less important in sprint racing, of course, but in an hour and a bit race that we've got here, it's important to pick your battles and not lose too much time. And that's enough airtime for Santu Sarah, else I'll get a badly worded email.
As Unite hits that wall again, so that's something to look for.
Hachiroku times out of the server, so we're down to 19 runners at the moment.
You know, Litmanen is only 1 second behind Unite now. It was 2.5 few laps ago. So as Litmanen has started to up his pace, Unite started to make tiny mistakes here and there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Unite has made some errors, don't get me wrong, but has Gabor made some errors as well? I don't know, because the gap between Sammy and Gabor has gone up as well, so I think Sammy's just turning the screws now.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Gabor has stayed at the same pace he was 6-7 laps ago, and Sammy just found half a second somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a race on our hands at the front. It's basically the same situation it was at the start, slightly different order as Unite goes very sideways through the top of the hill. That's a little bit of a worry. We're not very far into the race, less than a third of the way through, and Unite's already struggling with his rear tyres.
They are fully red now.
Yeah.
He made mistake. He had same problem 3 laps in a row now. Top of the hill, over the tram lines, and his rear just steps out.
Well, let's see what happens. It's a long race, and if your strategy goes wrong from the get-go, it can be very frustrating. Hopefully he sticks with it, and we'll see where he ends up. But he needs to get as far through the race as he needs to stick to his strategy that he has planned. And is this what he had planned? Who knows? He's coming up behind back markers. I believe that's Jari Katila that he's coming up against. It is, and Soini.
Yeah. Out of top 4, I think that Cardo is driving. For the moment, he's driving the best race. I know he is P4, but there's not a lot in it, and he's just saving his tires. You can see at the state of his tires that he's not pushing the car too hard, but he's still lingering on. The top 3 haven't left him, so depending on fuel and how it all goes, he might become a factor again.
Yep, as we watch Jari Katila moving well out of the way of our leaders. Gabor is next to get past the back marker. And back markers around South City. This is the track where it is most difficult to get past. You have to be very compliant as a lapped car around here, so that you don't get in the way, especially when there's a furious battle going on for the lead like there is here. So Gabor has to make his way past Jari now. It's another very slow car there. Rick Cardle manages to get through that one, and there we go. Gabor back past Jari.
So Gabor got 1 second on Unite in the last lap, and Litti got half a second.
Yeah, it's getting super close now. Super uncomfortable for Unite as Sammy starts to catch him up. I spy a new logo for Layout Racing League on the rear wing of that FZR that Unite's running. A little bit of a plug there.
Looks nice.
Does look nice.
Yeah, and Yoni posts a new fastest lap, 1:12.24.
It's game on at the front, absolutely. Let's see what the gap is as they come across start-finish. A little bit of dirty air now for Sammy, so might have dropped back slightly. He has by 0.2, so this is now on. Unite's pace is such that he will start to slow Sammy down, and maybe Gabor can catch. Asker versus Yoni. Oh, and Asker's let that happen. Yeah.
Yep, that's team game there.
Fair enough. P6 for Yoni. Next on his radar is
Mr. Fatal.
Yeah, Santi Sarat, 7 seconds up the road.
Yeah, I'm quite sure Santo won't move like Arska did.
It's a little bit of a status quo at the front now. This is the battle we're going to have to keep an eye on, but it's going to be really difficult for Sammy to get any closer than he is already until he's right under the rear wing. Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that the closest battle we have now is for P9 between Michael and Rony. Because Rony looks to have more speed. He's trying to find a way.
Yeah. Well,
not an easy car.
Nope.
And that just makes Kick interested.
Yeah, will Kick be tempted to go for a send into the hairpin? Probably not. It's a bit of a risk. But yeah, Ronnie there showing that it is difficult to follow another car. Not only is your eyesight a little bit off, you can't see everything that's coming towards you, you've also got turbulent air. And all of that added together means that you can bounce off the walls occasionally, as he did through there, and that means he's right back into the arms of Kig, who gets a great run, Zdravko. Let's see. He might be close enough for a move into turn 2. Or turn
depending
1.
what will he go. No, he lifts a bit. Very dangerous to go too wide in first turn, and then he loses out for turtle.
Yep, just too far back. You have to stay committed if you want to get the move done there, and yeah, he just didn't feel up to it, which is fair enough. Sometimes it's better to just wait.
Rony is now in like a problem. Does he push and try to take Michael? But if he catches better again, then he will have problem with Kig behind him.
Well, every lap he seems to catch Michael in this position. Ronnie hasn't bounced off the wall yet, and he's in a good striking position here. Let's see what he does. He heads down to the hill. He's not gonna go for the move here, of course. He's gonna line Michael up and try and get him on one of the straights you'd expect.
He wanted to get a good exit here. This is a hard decision now, but he's far away enough to not have dirty air as much.
Went quite wide. I mean, it's a good line. He's in the toe, so here we go. If he stays committed, he could have Michael. Michael is slightly pulling away, so maybe a different setup.
The only problem is Kig is faster on a straight than Ronnie. As Kig will go for a send, no.
I think Ronnie's running quite high downforce. That looked too easy. Michael just disappeared.
Yep.
So contrasting setups again. Maybe the MRC guys, Michael and Kig, running lower downforce, which is why Ronnie looks like a little bit of a ball bearing inside a glass at the moment, rattling around. Igor's timed out. That means that's promoted quite a few people. That's a shame for Igor. He was running really well. Really big shame. As the Ronnie
gets a run.
Now. Superior downforce on this infield section, I'm telling you. That means he's managed to catch, and he needs to capitalise. But Michael just does him around the outside on pace. And this is where
I tell you, that's not only one wing difference.
Yeah. Nope. And this is where Ronnie is slower. He has to stay tucked under that rear wing if he stands any chance of keeping up. And then there's no opportunity into the final corner. So this is starting to bunch up now, and this looks like Kig has the best opportunity of the three. And he should get past easily on the straight.
He doesn't even need slipstream to this.
Nope. So there we are. Aggressive downforce from Ronnie actually hasn't helped him there, but it might help him later on. You know, he's not going to be sliding around on those tyres as much as the two ahead of him. You can see how slidey Michael was getting, an uncertainty on the throttle, but Kig at the moment is doing a great job. He's up to P9.
Yeah, I guess Kig will try to attack now, and that's Ronnie's chance. When those two fight, he might be able to pounce on. I think he has more base speed than Kig or Michael. He just can't show it because he's locked in.
Yeah, if Kig goes for this move, Michael's best interest is to just let it happen, I think, because, you know, they're teammates and they don't want to lose a place to Ronnie if they can help it. Michael goes slightly wide at the hairpin, Kig gets a good exit, Michael hits the wall, and it's game on now between all three of these again as we head down to the final corner. Kig's going to get past easily here if he can stick the final corner, but let's watch Ronnie and see what he does. Kig goes through on the inside, Michael has to try and find the line through, but those two still squabbling. And Michael get back.
Yeah, that's not helping
through.
Ronnie.
Nope.
That's not helping Ronnie. He's just too far behind.
Yeah. This is where Ronnie's quick. He's quick in the infield. He goes sideways through the second corner. That's not helping him at all. And now he's got two FZR roadblocks ahead of him, and he's being caught now by Pedro. So this lot are all bunching up. This is where the focus of the race is. 3 seconds the gap between Santu and Yoni as well. We need to keep an eye on that. Here we go. You can hear how... Oh my goodness, this Kig goes very sideways. That's another opportunity for Ronnie. How many opportunities does he need?
He just needs to be in the... As soon as he goes out of the slipstream, he starts to lose time.
Yeah,
Pedro is already in. Pedro is already in the fight. And we also got Kose close behind. This could very well be 5-car fight in a lap or two.
Oh, absolutely. I don't doubt it at all. This is going to be a huge fight. Michael needs to put his head down and drive away. Otherwise, he's going to get swamped by all of these guys. It does look like Kig has managed to get enough of a gap over Ronnie that he shouldn't be too much of an issue on this lap as long as Michael doesn't hold him up. He goes wide. Obviously, yeah, these two MRC cars, they are the stopper in the bottle right now for Ronnie. And soon, everybody else behind them as well. As you mentioned, Pedro really is closing up now. This is a 4-car fight now. There we go.
Pedro has badly damaged car. It's a miracle he's as fast as the cars ahead of him.
And another big clout of the wall there. That won't help either. But yeah, during this race, we've seen a lot of different drivers using lots of different strategies. It's good to see. Normally, not normally, but sometimes we see drivers using very predictable setups. But it seems like a lot of people have gone for very opposing strategies today, which is really fun to see.
Yeah, I'm just looking a bit on the tire situation at the front, and I don't see how any of top 4 will go over lap 50 without pit stopping.
Okay. Fastest lap for Unite. And it's happened already.
So as Yon in 6th launches an attack on Fado in 5th. Ooh, gonna have dirty air now. But he manages nicely. Sends one in. That's a big send. But he makes it through. Nice pace.
Yeah, Santu won't fight this too hard. Yoni's caught up to him so quickly and has got past him pretty easily. Santu just needs to, well, cling on tight, I think, is the only thing you can do when you've got a driver like Yoni flying past you. Look at it. Look at how it's planted Yoni is out of there. Santu's struggling for grip up the hill, and Yoni is already a faint speck.
That's already almost a second difference.
Yeah. That's how quickly it can happen. Yoni is now the best of the rest in P5. So a world-class Lions car in the form of Asker was best of the rest at the beginning. Now it's Yoni who started last. Yeah, he is mighty, isn't he? I mean, that is impressive. 22 seconds separates him from the lead, and 16 seconds from Rick Cardle. It's a tall order. Will this be the end of Yoni's progress in this race? We'll see. There's still a long way to go. 35 laps, in fact, left in round 10 of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race XL 2021.
As we got a kick a bit closer to Michael again. So that's a battle for 8. Oh, it was a bit... That's so a bit over ambitious on the exit. He was really close. He had a chance. Now he has another chance. In a slipstream. Will he try it for turn 1 pace? He lifts. Kig is probably a bit mindful that Michael is his teammate. Maybe on somebody else he would try it.
Yes, but also Michael needs to be mindful that Kig is also his teammate, and they've got cars queuing up behind. So what would you do in the team situation here? In the team situation, you let Kig go. I think it's safe to say, but there we go. It is every man for himself in XL, so anything goes. You can do what you want, basically.
It could be that Kig, with his even more lower downforce than Michael, is saving Michael from Rony now. So maybe it's best for them to stay as they are. Michael just has to find a bit of speed.
Good entry initially there from Rony, but it kind of came undone a bit as he got really close to Kig on the apex and ran wide and hit the wall. So Yeah, Ronnie is struggling here to try and find any way through these two who are now fighting each other. So they're just going to disappear now on the straight. Ronnie has no response to them on the straight.
Yeah, big problem from Ronnie is that he has higher downforce, so he should be faster in last turn. But he's too close to MRC guys on the last turn, so he gets aero drop and can't even use his higher downforce. And then on straight, it's just a hindrance, it's just slower.
Yeah, this is really, really frustrating for a driver when you're following drivers with different setup. Oh, as Ronnie almost looks like he went for a send there. He didn't, but goodness me, late on the brakes. But yeah, he's following cars with low downforce through a high downforce section, and there's no way through.
This is a chance now.
Bumps the rear. He has to go for it. I mean, Ronnie's been held up by Kig for so many laps. He just needs to commit to this corner. He's on the outside, which doesn't help. You have to try and run it around the outside. He does, but now he's a sitting duck. Kig has the ball in his
Can't allow
court.
Kig to pass now. He just can't allow Kig to. He has to stick with it.
As Pedro is knocking on the door of Kig. Ronnie needs to nail this final corner, and he's gone very wide, and Kig is going to say, thank you very much, I'm just going to get back past you now on the inside. So Ronnie's going to have to work very hard to keep this position through turn one. They are going to go side by side. They have to. Nope, he's backed out of it. Will Ronnie go for a send? Yes, he will. He's locked up, and he's slowed down so much that Cozzy's managed to get past Pedro, and there's further contact, and it's all gone wrong.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
I'd
say that Cozzy thought that he cleared Ronnie before entering the turn, and then didn't leave enough space. He kind of squeezed Ronnie into the wall.
We have our
as Unite make a
pits. Yeah, he's in the pits. I wonder what he did on there. Wheels and refuel. So yeah, he didn't have enough.
22 seconds.
That's long.
You need to do a 10-second pit stop on Excel, but he did a 22. So that opens a lot of space for other drivers to do less, especially if Lite, as I suspect, has more fuel.
More fuel, exactly. So Unite, although he was running at the front for the whole race pretty much, he's done 12 seconds more in the stop than you are required to. We think that the top drivers all have to replace tyres because of how quickly they're getting through them, but how much fuel has everyone got? Unite clearly, with his pace and his gap over Sammy, who had the better of him in qualifying, he's come in on lap 33.
As Fado goes into pits from P5.
Another of our front runners deciding enough's enough on those tyres.
Let's see what he does. He had much better tyres than Sidus, guys. But still, in my mind, I think not enough to hold to the end of race.
Maybe fuel limited then, perhaps? That's why he's come in at this
Doesn't
point.
change the tyres, just refuels. Will he come ahead? No, he's behind Unite already.
Yeah, the gap was
He made a
big.
mistake. Yeah, he made a mistake. His
not
pit
enough.
stop was too short.
Yep, 0.03, so 300ths too short for Santu. That is a disaster. I mean, if you're not timing the pit stop to the fuel, you have to be patient. It doesn't matter if you lose half a second. What you don't want to do is lose 25 seconds by doing a drive-through. So Santu, a big error there, and he was on camera, but he can't blame me.
Yeah, that's on him. Just thinking about what are his options now. His options are either take the penalty or pit again. Maybe if Michael, Kig, Pedro, Corsi, and Ronnie and Climbs continue fighting as they are, he could eke out enough of advantage to do a pit stop for a 1 second.
Well, let's see. As Lorenzo pits from the race, so that's his race over pretty much. He's decided enough's enough. His strategy hasn't worked out, and that's a shame because he's clearly put in a lot of effort in practice, but it just didn't work out on the day. And that's that, and that's what can happen sometimes in racing. Now, what's Santi thinking? You've already gone through some of the permutations. Does he take the penalty, or does he do the pit stop and make his finish legit? I would do that. I think I would make the finish legit.
Well,
Stop for a second.
Considering that he didn't change the tires, it could be maybe smart to try and eke out the tires as long as you can. If he sees that they are not going to last, then pit. Because he has to pit anyway, so why not take some advantage of it? Instead of pitting like now and then seeing like on lap 60 that he has to get new tires.
Yeah, Sammy's catching up to back markers now. This is important. He needs to get through Ronnie quickly. There he goes. Fine. And then he needs to get... What happened to Gabba?
He lost a place to Rick.
He has
He's
front left
8
damage.
seconds behind.
Huge front left damage. Look at that. So yeah, we can get a look at the replay potentially and find out what's happened to Gabor. But yeah, that's pretty big, and that's allowed Ricardo to climb up to P2. Yep, interesting stuff. As Asker comes into the pit lane, so where will he rejoin? It was a good pit stop, a long pit stop, 18.6 seconds for Asker as he rejoins now. Over the flyover, there we go, down onto the track. He rejoins in P9, but now a lap down. Well, no, is he a lap down? He is a lap down. Sami Lipmanen. Crazy stuff. Pedro Biar comes in the pit lane, so this is the time that everybody is deciding that they have had enough of their tyres. Pedro exits the pit lane now, and yeah, he did a good stop. And Ronnie's now in the pit lane. In
Okay,
P12.
so I did a check on a replay.
Okay.
And Gabor was collected by Lorenzo coming out from the pits.
Right, so that explains why Lorenzo bailed from the race then.
Yep. So Lorenzo didn't realize that Gabor was on the track and going into turn 1. And pit exit here puts you at the apex of turn 1 and they touch.
Oh, no. So yeah, that does explain why it's the front left of Gabor's car that has the huge impact crater on it.
Well, lucky for Gabor, suspension is almost intact. So that part of the car is okay.
He may have some tracking issues though. It looks like a big impression in the front of that car. Currently, P1 to 8 are the only cars on the lead lap. Michael Malek is being reeled in at the moment by Sami Lipmanen. Sami, of course, has yet to pit, but you know that's the pace that he's been on. 38 laps, and he's looking over the rear of the car in P8 in the race. Impressive stuff. As Cozzy loses a place to Pedro because Cozzy's just finished his pit stop and rejoins the race. Yoni up to P4, but he is also yet to stop. But he has a very healthy lead over Unite. So if Yoni can do a quick stop, if he can go long into the race as Zdravko, he could jump Unite after starting from the back.
And it depends how Gabor's car feels now. He's only 6 seconds behind Gabor. With last lap he was over a second faster.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Crazy pace from our leaders. As Michael goes wide to let Sami through, and that's that. P7 now. The next car in front of Sami.
As Lorenzo apologizes to Gabor, says it was a blind spot in the mirror, and I can confirm that it definitely was.
Yeah, well, you know, it's if he's left the pits, then you know sometimes it can be the driver behind that has to react to a car rejoining. Of course, once the pit lane line ends, that is the racetrack, and racing rules apply. Sometimes you have to react to the car ahead.
Yeah, I think it's still, you know, that pit exit is as tight as it is. And I think Gabor couldn't see Lorenzo, and Lorenzo couldn't see Gabor. So it's a
Ah.
it's a very tricky situation. It's a one where you have to watch before. Gabor probably could have saw Lorenzo when he came to turn one, like 200-300 meters before braking zone. He probably could have seen Lorenzo exiting the pits, and maybe it would have been smart to leave some space. But right at the apex, they probably didn't even know what hit him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's put a driver out the race, and it's given Gabor damage he didn't have at the beginning. So there we are. How long will Sami Lipmanen go? How long do you reckon he's got left on his tyres? That is the question. You said probably around lap 50.
Well,
max.
I am very afraid for his rear right tire. I would say more than 5 laps would be pushing it a lot, and only he knows if he had a slide or a flat spot on it. If his rear are locking in the hairpin, then I would pit in next 2-3 laps. But that's what only he knows.
Kig comes into the lane. See how good his pit stop is as Sami streaks past. So yeah, the minimum pit stop time is 10 seconds, but all the drivers have been going a lot over that because they've had to change tyres, and that obviously takes time. It's a quick stop, 10.47 seconds for Kig, and he didn't change his tyres. So he will come out ahead of Unite. Nope, Unite's quite a way up the road. But there we are. Very quick stop for Kig.
Oh, he came ahead of Pedro, BR, and they were together in a fight, and he came a lot ahead.
A long way. Long way.
Yeah, the difference is Pedro changed his wheels, changed his tires, so Pedro had a 22 seconds pit stop, while Kig had half of that. But
I mean, the gap's more than that.
Yeah, the gap is 18 seconds at the moment.
But something else has happened with Pedro. Not all of that time was lost through the pit stop, but there we go. Jona Katila now only has a 4-second gap over Gabor after Gabor's mistake or collision. It's frightening pace from Joni at the moment.
Yeah. Only in Sector 2, Unite's been losing almost a second to top 4 now.
Well, that's what the tyres do when they're new.
Yeah, and he definitely has more fuel now than everybody else.
Yeah.
So his race is not developing in a right way.
No, it started perfectly, but like you said, he's just
As Rony spins it a bit, right in front of Joni. He collects it. Yeah, he got a rear wheels lighten up over that hill. There's a hill in the middle of Sector 2 where the car gets loose, and you gotta be very careful about it. So Joni in last few laps extended his advantage over Unite over more than 10 seconds. He was like 20 seconds ahead of Unite, now he's 31.
Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy. You said 5 laps on his tyres, yeah? So this is 3 to go for him if he's...
5 laps for Liti. 5
Yep.
laps for Liti. Joni has a bit better tires.
Alrighty. This is going to be fascinating. Joni's already up to P4. He's not going to lose much. He might come out near Unite, but he's not going to come out anywhere near Santu, I don't think. So Joni, how long can he go on the tyres? That could, he could be on the podium. Certainly, he's only 4 seconds
I don't
behind
think
Gabor.
he can go to the end. I don't think he can go to the end. I would say 10 laps at the maximum, but maybe this guy surprised me.
Yeah. We've said this before. This is exciting stuff. We've seen Yoni finish races with one set of tyres when it wasn't supposed to be the way, or he's popped a tyre on the final corner or something and still made it to the end in the lead. These guys are built differently.
This is ultra pace now. Another fastest lap from Yoni, 11.66.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Gabor went half a second slower.
Yep, there are now only 4.3 seconds separating them. 4 seconds now, 3.99 as he crosses the sector time. So this is crazy.
So,
he's really, really pushing.
Yeah, so just for a reference, Unite went 3 seconds slower. So he lost 3 seconds in the last lap alone.
More traffic
At
for
this
Yoni
rate-
to deal with.
At this rate, Unite will be happy that Fero didn't pit for 10 seconds.
Wow, the gap to Unite is going up and up and up and up. It's now 50 seconds to Sammy, and without a massive error, there is no way that Sammy is going to take 50 seconds in the pit lane. So,
No.
unless Sammy pushes his tyres too far, then he will rejoin in the lead easily on aggregate. But when's he going to come into pits? How are they looking? How's that tyre looking?
Non-existent.
Okay.
They're really thin. I would have pitted probably already. These guys are more brave than I am.
Well, let's see. It might be brave. Is it bravery or is it stupidity? Let's see. Something's going to happen.
Maybe they did practice before, so maybe they know.
Yeah, maybe they've got some gauges on their screen. I know some driver did that. Got a little pencil or a little pen, made a little mark on the screen where the tires can go down to. Which is
the problem with
crazy.
that strategy, is the flat spots.
Yeah, exactly. You
don't
can't
see
see them. You can't see them. Yeah, LFS simulates flat spots. It's great, but you can't see them very well on the tire diagram, so you just can't know for sure. But
I remember there was a race with GTRs, GT2 Challenge, I think, last year, where a driver had a tire.
Yoni's pitted. Sorry, Yoni has pitted. Sorry to interrupt. He's in. So where's he going to rejoin? Sorry, hold that thought. He's in and he's going to be out
next to Unite.
Yeah, wow. So this is going to be a race between them two. Oh, that's amazing. He's rejoined just ahead. He's on fresh tyres. United's tyres are up to temperature. And Yoni, for now... Oh, this is intense. Yoni needs to keep this place. He doesn't want to have to get past United later. United's going to have the advantage, and he's done it. Just. Wow.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. What a thing we just saw there. Sorry, back to your point.
As United hits the wall.
Yeah.
My point was that on a Blackwood, the track that was raced in my example, I think Leikkonen had a tire that looked 50% used, and then got a flat because he always locked the tire at the same space. And even though on the game it looked like the tire is okay, it was not.
Yeah, you can see if you have flat spots, but you have to drive very slowly because of the number of contact patches that are actually simulated. So yeah, it is possible to sometimes feel as well if you have a flat spot, because your view changes whenever you go over that contact patch, and also sometimes you can feel it through the wheel. Depends how big it is. There we are. Hopefully Sammy knows what he's doing. He's probably one of the most experienced drivers on this grid. It's been around for a lot of years. But yeah, this is an interesting battle now. This would have been the battle for the lead if United's pit stop wasn't a week long. But Yoni's come from the back. United was leading, So who knows where these two will come out, depending on Sammy's stop.
To be fair, Yoni's Yoni's pit stop was only 3 seconds faster than United's, because he also refueled and changed tires. So all the time he gained was because he was out for longer.
Yeah, you've got to wonder whether if Yoni could have stayed out for an extra lap, whether he gambled and came in a bit early. As United hits the wall, that's critical. Will Yoni be able to get through? Yes, he will. Surprised United didn't come straight back over to cover that. Maybe he didn't think he had enough time. I don't know, but there we are. Gets the slipstream again. There's a car leaving pits. It's Michael. Will he get in the way? Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to get in the way of Yoni a little bit. Couldn't help that. He just happened to be there. But they're in the infield now, and there's not a lot United can do to get back past Yoni, who now is P4.
I think United will definitely hurt from this hit because he damaged his suspension a lot.
Oh no. It didn't look that big a hit, but I suppose when you're going that fast, anything can hurt you. And look at the time he's lost going up the hill. Oh, Yoni is running away now. There's a big gap already. Back to Unite. Gabor and Rick Cardle are very close on the track. Just noticed that. Look at this. I don't know whether Rick made an error or whether this has just been closing down. I wasn't paying attention, but
Gabor has been steadily pushing closer and closer. But he's at the edge of his tires. He has the same tires as Litti has. While Ricardo has much better tires, and it just depends what those two do and what Rick does.
Yeah, you mentioned
Rick
this at the
stays
beginning.
out.
Yeah. You mentioned it at the beginning. You said Rick might just be going easier because he's trying to make his tires last the duration. You could be right. Gabor's in.
Gabor pits.
So there we go. First of the top three to blink then. And it is Gabor who has the fastest lap of the race. He did that on the last time around, I believe.
He will definitely change tires.
Yeah, but let's see where Yoni is. Yoni is so far back. He's only entering the uphill section, so there is work to do for world-class Lions if they want to get a podium in this race. It's probably going to have to prey on a mistake from one of the Sidus guys because Gabor is going to be moving any second now. There he goes. It was wheels and a refuel in 17 seconds for Gabor.
Yeah. Seconds faster than Yoni. And Yoni lost time with Unite.
Yeah, absolutely. But and then there's the gap. He's coming around the final corner, and Gabor just leaving pit lane. So, they've got 15 laps. Is it possible? What's Yoni's pace over Gabor? It's a tall order. Absolutely a tall order. Gabor's already up to turn 2.
Yoni did 1:11.8, so that's crazy pace for these tires. He was only 0.2 slower than his fastest lap. His fastest lap was on used tires. And now the difference is seconds to Gabor, but I wouldn't count Yoni out yet.
Makes me feel old watching Yoni Katila in Liver Speed because, when I was racing in Halifax back in the day, Yoni was there. He had pace, but watching him now, he's just a different driver. He's learnt so much, and he is unstoppable. Would have been nice to see him qualify for this one because this pace is really, really crazy. I hope he manages to pull something out of the bag for his own sake because quite a spectacle in the pace that he's got at the moment.
Yeah, let's see. I think Litti will pit this lap. Yep, going into pits. So the leader.
Well, the leader will become.
And he got a flat on the pit entry.
Yeah, he hit the wall, so he's potentially picked up a bit of, not a lot, but that was so perfectly timed. Has to change his tyres. Wow, that's crazy. Imagine if he just gambled and had to do a whole lap. Rick Cardle takes over the lead. What a race we're seeing here. Can Rick make those tyres last at the end? Let's see where Sammy comes out.
I would say Rick won't be able to make his tires less, but what he will be able is to run 6 or 7 more laps with the tires he has.
All right.
And
Game on.
if he will run the pace that the guys ran before, so that would be 1.5 faster, he will be very close to Litty.
Well, Sami Litmanen's coming out of the pit lane. He's got a back marker. He's ahead. He's fine. But he has that's day and night between him and Gabor. So Gabor's incident has cost him really a lot. And he is firmly in P3 at the moment. This is a battle now between Rick Cardle and Sami Litmanen at the front. And it all depends, really, on how many laps with the good rubber can Rick Cardle make those tyres last. He hasn't. He's just come in straight away. So this is going to be a question that's going to be answered very quickly, Zdravko.
Would have been interesting if he gambled a bit more.
He might be fuel limited. We'll have to see how long his pit stop takes. Sami's was 16 seconds, so one of the fastest that we've seen of the front runners. Sami's currently on the back straight. He's just braking for the final corner, actually. And I think he's going to be out day and night ahead of Rick. And you'll see him streak across the shot there. And then Rick pulls away. So that is the gap. Sami has driven a masterclass so far. Unite's out of the question. 26 seconds back to Unite now.
How did Rick have a longer pit stop than Sami? Does it mean that Sami had more fuel in the car? It surely does, yeah.
Just an ultimate strategy, I suppose, from Sami.
Yeah, I think he just did because of the tires. It was a good call in the end because he had a flat on the pit entry.
Let's see then what happens in the dying laps here. We've got 12 to go. Rick Cardle is 11.13 seconds behind Sami.
Yes,
that
but
is a
Gabor
huge
is only a second behind.
Yeah, because of how long Rick's pit stop was. Because Gabor did a pretty quick stop. He had damage and he had the incident, but he had a quick stop. So let's see what happens here. It's not over for the podium as Gabor taps the ball. 8 seconds now for Yoni as well behind Gabor. He's on a move.
And if you look at it, Unite is 6 seconds behind Yoni now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see what their lap times are as they come round. Let's see what Gabor manages. Gabor manages a 12.3. Yoni comes across the line and does a
12.4.
Yeah, slightly slower actually. So interesting.
Well, his tires are already a bit in the red zone, while Gabor's are still green. So he might have overpushed them, fighting Unite.
Let's go to a battle elsewhere. We haven't seen the back of the field for quite a while. We've been focusing on the leaders. Donny's on a bit of a recovery. He's trying to get back into the top 10. He's just got past Cozzy, I think. Into P11. And now he needs to chase down Cozzy's teammate Climbs. And then Kig. It's a tall order because, there's a fair old gap between them.
Well, you know what? Donny has R2s that are very old. I think he will have to pit again or suffer a flat tire. He will definitely have to pit again until the end of the race. And he already pitted once.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Someone who's going to have to also consider a pit stop again is Santu. He's got a gap behind him that would be, I want to say it's big enough if he wants to take the extra time in the stop. I don't think Asker is close enough really to overtake him. Might be. It'll be close.
25 seconds. Well, Santu has to pit anyway because he didn't serve 10 seconds. So he's missing those 0.03 seconds. He can avoid the penalty if he pits again.
It's all up to him.
And another guy that will be interesting to watch is because he also didn't change tires. So 10 laps to go on the tires he has now. I think we will see some flat tires till the end of the race.
We're evil here. That's in broadcast. We do like
We're realistic.
some action. But yeah, the real fight on is between Gabor and Rick. Yeah, let's see. They've been. Whoa, as Rick hits the wall, that's going to be a good opportunity. There's some mistakes starting to creep in. He's right there. He's right there. But in the dirty air, trying to get on the power, Rick manages to get away a little bit. So difficult. So difficult to follow someone up that hill.
Yeah, that has to hurt. You want the car to turn and it just goes straight.
Yeah,
But
we
it
hope
does
you're
look
enjoying
like
this
Gabor
one.
has. It does look like Gabor has a tiny bit of pace advantage.
Oh, he's definitely got a pace advantage. He's closed this gap down, and he's he's over the back of Rick before they go into the tight and twisty sections. Rick made a mistake, of course, an unforced error. Better on the brakes too, but a bit deep, and Rick with a lot more slide on the exit. He's pushing. He's pushing. Better exit that time.
The wall again.
Yep. The ball in that dirty air, slamming into the wall, and again deep. It's so difficult following through this section. It can't be understated.
He goes through here nicely. It's a danger area. That uphill.
Ooh, really aggressive on the downshift from the ball there. Just about got away with it. And there we are. That is what it looks like to ride around on the nose of Gabor's FZ5 as he chases down Rick Cardle for P2 overall. He's got the fastest lap, but he's now trapped. It looks like he's got the pace. He's just in the dirty air, and it's really, really tough, as we've seen time and time again this race alone, to get out of it and get pace on your competitors. As Kig joins the spectators, did he get a puncture? What happened?
I'm not sure. I would say he did, because his tires were really bad.
Yeah, that's quite a long way from the end. That's 7 laps from the end, so a bit of a risk.
Arnold has double puncture.
Oh no! And he's got a bit of a drive back as well. It's both on the right side, front right and front rear right. By the looks of it,
be able to make.
As long as he doesn't get another one as he brakes.
Steady.
Yeah. Is he going to ride the wall? I don't think he's going to have a choice if he goes in at that pace. There we go. And he's looped it on pit entry. Don't worry, mate. No one saw
saved it. That was lucky.
Oh, dear. We've seen it all today. Almost overshot his pit box, but there we go. He is stationary, and it is a day to forget for Donny after that incident at the beginning, and then his strategy sort of fell apart. Across the line onto lap 59 we go. Rick Cardle being chased by Gabor. The gap is only 0.6 of a second. There's nothing there between them. Yoni, meanwhile, has 8 seconds, so that gap hasn't come down at all in the last few laps. It did come down very quickly at the beginning of this second stint for these drivers, Zdravko, but Yoni's kind of frozen now.
Yeah, he's actually slower now than those two. He's having his tire heat problems. The same as Unite. Unite is another 8 seconds behind Yoni now.
Yeah, so heat peak.
As you see the car sliding.
Yeah. Yoni made better use of his fresh tyres. Unite was on them first, so that's not really fair. Unite had his tyres up to temperature. He did hold it. He held the place against Yoni, but then he dropped it, and Yoni managed to get through. It would have been a different story if Unite had managed to hold Yoni up for a few laps Maybe it would have been a Sidus 1, 2, 3, 4 after all, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen right now.
Yeah, I think Unite's problem was when he had fresh tires, others had thin tires, so the faster tires. As the tires get used, they get faster in LFS. And when others got fresh tires, Unite was always on a slower tire than the rest of the cars around him. So his strategy always put him as at a disadvantage.
Stoyny has had a puncture as well, and he loops it right in front of Rony. This is a long drive back for Stoyny. I wouldn't be surprised if he just aborts. Oh no, he's going to carry on. So yeah, it's a long drive back for the world-class Lions driver. We are in puncture land now. 5 laps to go. Oh, goodness me, that's a bad place to spin it, Stoyny. You need to chill. And just
He's
drive that
reversing,
thing.
smart thinking.
Yeah, right in front of
That was
Unite.
very smart.
He's got away with that one. I wonder if anyone around him is going to collect him. No, it looks like he's good to the end of the lap, but yeah, just a lesson
Hairpin
in.
will be a problem with these tires for him.
Well, let's see as he breaks down into it. He's got a car behind him. One of his teammates.
He made it through.
Yeah, all the way through. I think that was Yari who's right behind him. It is. And Stoyny has to go into the pit lane again.
So only one car not changing tires until now, being if he wanted to or forcefully, and that's fatal.
Yeah, and he's gone around again. So 62 laps at least on the board for him, or 61 rather. Oh no, he isn't lapped. So yeah, it would be 61 laps if he decides to come in at the end of that lap. That's an impressive feat. But we've said this time and time again while we've watched Santu. He's pretty good on his tyres, isn't he, Zdravko?
Yeah, he's quite smooth, and he has an ability to give up a lap because Arska behind him is already lapped. So if he feels that tires are on the edge, he could slow down and let Liddy overtake him for a lap.
Yeah, and his opportunity hasn't gone away because there are 28 seconds now between Arska. He's pulled out 3 seconds over the last time we talked about this, which is probably enough to get in and out of the pit lane ahead. So if he doesn't want to risk it, then he could just do that. Come in, serve his penalty, or just do a quick stop and go. Doesn't need to do anything more than that. As we see Rick Cardle still under huge pressure from Gabor. Gabor really desperately wants this second place away from his teammate, doesn't he?
Well, he had it before a crash with Warenza, so maybe he feels it should be his.
Well, he's going to have to work for it. Let's see how they go. There's a flash of the lights. Hello to you as well, Gabor, as he heads down into the hairpin. Massive brakes, and then Rick says bye-bye on the throttle. Yeah, they're running out of laps. There's only 3 to go. 2.5, in fact. Less, as Sammy crosses the line to make it 2 to go. What a masterclass so far from him.
Yeah. Car ahead in situation like this where Cardo has a big advantage because he can choose where to brake for the hairpin and when to bolt. And Gabor just has to adapt and search for kind of try to adjust to Cardo. And as we saw here, you lose like half a second because you're not the one that can throttle out when you want to.
Yeah, you're completely at the mercy of the car behind. Sorry, the car in front, in fact, as we look at Gabor again. And yeah, it's in this section where you don't want to be right behind. You want to be able to use your tyres to their fullest. You want to drop back and then catch the car ahead as you exit the hairpin. And it doesn't look like he's going to be close enough unless he goes brave on the brakes again. He has done. It's very brave on the brakes. It's amazing how much time he gains on the brakes, actually. Then it does open up again.
It's interesting that he's driving with mouse and pedals.
It's the fastest way to drive in for speed. You get the precision of the mouse and the precision of the pedals. Something you
Somebody
just
should
can't
say
get.
that to Liddy.
Oh, there we go. He's on the final lap. So far, so good. He's made this look easy. 13 seconds ahead of Rick Cardle and a full 31 seconds behind Unite. It looked like it was going to be Unite and Sammy to the end, but that just hasn't worked out. Unite just went too soon, didn't he? He just went too soon into the pits, and that's how much it costs you if you don't plan to run longer. If you have the pace to run longer, which Sammy certainly does, more fuel, better tyre life, absolute perfection.
Yeah, well, I would say never fastest way around the race is to use the tires to their maximum. And that's what Unite didn't do today.
Yeah, neither did Rick, and that's why he's currently struggling with Gabor. It doesn't matter. It's been a masterclass in FZR driving around South City. Sami Lipmanen comes home in P1. And it's going to be a bit of a wait to see who... Oh, there we go. As Gabor goes for a slide out of the final corner. And it is Rick Cardle who comes across in P2. Gabor just behind in P3. And then we are going to be waiting a little bit for Joni Katila, who will come across the line in P4. Ahead of... Well, just behind the first of the first three of the four Sidus cars. And this is how long it is before we see the fourth Sidus car. There he is, leaving some 11s on the road as he comes across start-finish. 40 seconds in the end behind Sammy. Santu Sarah will take the penalty, will he? Or did he decide to stop? I think he decided to stop, did he not?
He slowed down. No, he didn't stop.
Okay.
But he slowed down to let Liti pass. Exactly what I said. If he felt that tires wouldn't make it
right,
to the end, he would just lose a lap. But he will still get a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be interesting to see. Maybe Arska finishes ahead of him.
Well, there we are. That brings to a conclusion 64 laps of South City Town Course in the FZR. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will do a full rundown of the order. Quite a lot of non-finishers to Zdravko, as that is definitely the wrong results. My apologies. Let me get up the correct ones. So there we go. Sami Lipmanen wins for Sidus in 1 hour, 18 minutes, 2 seconds, 0.57. Rick Cardle finishes in P2. Gabor P3. True Alpha, Joni Katila made it from the back up to P4, only 18 seconds off the lead. That is amazing. I do wonder what the situation would have been if he ended up starting the race at the front with the others. But anyway, that is something we will never know. Unite, after putting it on P2 at the start, dropped to P5 after some slight strategy mishaps. Santu Sarah lost a lap in the end, finishes P6 and will take a penalty post-race. Arska P7, Michael Malik P8, Pedro and Climbs round out the top 10. Then it's Kozi, Ronnie, Donny, Yari and Timu Soini and Manaboega, who we didn't see much of at all. He is the last of the finishers, 5 laps off the lead. And those who didn't make it across the start-finish line but who are classified is Master Race Cars Kig in P17, Igor, Hachiroku and Young finishing or rounding out the top 20, pardon me. P21 on our provisional results are Redbot. Then we've got Suzuya and Lorenzo rounding out the 23 cars who started this one. Gabor, the fastest lap with a 1:11.62. And there is Sami Lipmanen, or rather the back of Sami Lipmanen, on victory lane. Zdravko. Wow, what a race.
Yeah, what a race. FZR again showed that it's a tough car to handle. Only the best can take the best out of it, and Lipmanen again showed, while many of LFS races consider him the best.
Yeah, he's got nothing to prove. He's won so many things, and that was a masterclass. So take note, everyone. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. Sami Lipmanen for Sidus taking the win in RTFR XL round number 20. Round number 10 of 2021. Lots of numbers involved there. My mistake. The 58th RTFR XL comes to a conclusion. Thank you very much to Zdravko for joining me for this, replacing Owen, whose birthday it is today. We couldn't end the stream without wishing Owen a very happy 30th birthday.
Happy birthday, Owen.
Birthday to Owen. Yes, thank you, Zdravko. It's been brilliant. I've been Peter Butcher. You've been watching Sim Broadcasts on Twitch and YouTube. We hope you can join us next time for more action in Live for Speed. We're off to iRacing tomorrow for round 4 of the SMRC iRacing 2021 Championship. So if you're up for some iRacing, feel free to join us over on the SMRC Facebook and YouTube, and also here on Twitch on our channel. From all of us here to all of you, have a great evening. Thank you very much, and good night.